How's it going? Hey, how's it going? How's it going? All right. So I wanted to make some predictions for 2024. We'll see how they go. We'll check in back in on them on 2025 and see how many I got right. I saw Ludwig do this. So I've got 11 predictions. I want to see if I can beat him cuz his predictions, they're pretty good. I think he has some good ones. I think he has some confirmed ones. Uh But I'm going to do them and have a little bit more explanation as to why I predicted that. Also, these are going to be a lot more political than Ludwig's was. Um, because I just think 2024 is going to be a political year. What can I say? What can I say? First prediction. Jesus Christ. So, my first prediction is I think the Disney hostile takeover will not be successful, but concessions will be made. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I don't think Nelson Peltz is going to get. I don't think the hostile takeover is going to be successful. I think Disney has set themselves up to, pretty assuredly make sure that doesn't happen. But I do think some concessions will be made, whether Kevin Feige gets fired or Kathleen Kennedy gets fired or Bob Iger gets fired. You know, all of these things would be a benefit probably, but I think one of those concessions will be made. That's pretty general, but I mean something's got to change. Right? Anyways, next prediction: the Twitter feuds with the EU, European Union, and Elon Musk and third party exposes EU corruption. Like as you've probably heard, the EU is like legislatively like coming down on Twitter. I don't know why. I think it's like misinformation or something. I can't remember like what the reason is, or if it's content moderation. That's pretty funny because Facebook is going, or Meta is going through all that shit right now too, and it's like much more serious. Um, but I mean, uh, like, and that's kind of why I say this is that there's going to be some EU corruption exposed by Elon Musk and like a third party. And this could mean like they work together, or it could just mean like a third party does all of this and Elon Musk comments on it. But which so we'll see. This one's kind of a stretch though. This one's legitimately kind of a stretch. Like exposing EU corruption. Like, I mean, everybody knows like governments around the world are corrupt, but it's like, how can you do that? Both legally now with a lot of what like the UK or like yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's a stretch, but it'd be nice. 3. The Jeffrey Epstein files will be a nothing burger. Media will focus mostly on victims. I don't I just can't see that many big name people like being exposed as, terrible people. I there's too much at stake, especially the people that like are that might have these things like Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and Prince Charles or Prince one of the princes. Like these are huge names that could possibly be indicted on this, and it's like I just can't imagine that big of names like actually being affected. So I think you might get like a couple names. They'll probably be like much older, like celebrities that people don't really care about. But I think the media will still focus mostly on victims. I think the names that they might release, I think a majority of them could be the victims, and then the the media will just like really hone in on these victims, like what happened, like what was going on there, potentially who they saw. But man, I just don't know. The thing is with a lot of these celebrity cases, it's like a lot of these people that start to expose this shit end up dead somewhere mysteriously. So I'd be worried about some of these victims. It's it's really scary. A lot of these, but we'll see. I could be wrong on this one. There could be an actual list of names, and they, I mean, like Bill Gates, he went there like 30 times or something. It's like if somebody does like that doesn't show up, then you know that it's kind of rigged. So and I just don't see the government actually taking a stand on something like that and actually affecting people with these big of names and this amount of money. I just don't see it happening. I could be wrong, but I just don't see it happening. 4, internet shutdown will be a nationwide event. This is kind of like a WEF, like Alex Jones conspiracy in a lot of ways. Like the internet shutdown kind of thing. The Klaus Schwab, like, the internet will, an internet outage could be more devastating than a COVID outbreak. Like, it's kind of along that lines. I don't know if it will be just a specific like group of websites, like a Rumble and a Twitter kind of thing. It could just be that, or it could be the whole entire internet. The whole entire internet going down could be like legitimately catastrophic. I remember in my city, like a pretty small city, the electric went out for like a couple of minutes, and I drove down the street, and people were going fucking crazy. They were running red lights. They were like cutting each other off. It was literally madness. And I legitimately believe if the internet went down for a significant amount of time, you would have uh like mass hysteria. It would be pretty devastating. And especially today with like how much things would get ignored if they weren't documented. But I mean, it's not like people won't have cell phones and they'll be able to record videos, but like yeah. Anyways, but I think it will happen this year, and it could happen pre or post election. It's another that's another stretch, honestly. This is another stretch of prediction, but I think it would be really interesting, and I think the evidence is there to support it happening. 5. Civil war will be featured heavily on left-wing news pre-election. Um, yeah, I mean, we are already hearing this like all the time, with the Trump thing. There are like MSNBC, you see it all the time. There's legitimate hysteria already over Trump. I've heard a news anchor say like, straight faced, like, oh yeah, if Trump gets elected, he's gonna just shoot people. He's just gonna walk into the White House and fucking shoot people. Like the hysteria has already started. If you believe that, like, you are on fucking crazy pills. Like, I don't know. It's pretty insane the amount of things that people are saying. Um, and yeah, I think the Civil War is kind of, it's scarily kind of predictive programming. Like, they're kind of talking about these things. There's no evidence of these things, and they're kind of the more they're talking about it, the more they're gaining traction. Like you see on Twitter, uh, Civil War has been trending for like last week. It was trending like almost every day for like a week. And it's the more that the media kind of talks about it, the more that it's gaining traction. It's kind of like the clown epidemic where people were just dressing up as clowns and chasing people. Like, none of like that maybe happened as like a one-off instance, and then the media started talking about it, and suddenly this becomes a widespread thing. So I think we're going to see something like that, where the more that they talk about it, the more that it gains traction. That could legitimately happen. I don't think it's happening, because even when you do check those trending hashtags, it's mostly left-wing people making fun of it. I don't think the majority of people, like right-wing people, are actually talking about it legitimately. It's kind of more of, oh wow, look and see what like left-wing people are saying. And like you have had instances like what was his name, Gutfeld, who said something, but it's like even he got insane pushback for that. So it's kind of one of those things where I don't think it's happening. I don't think it would happen. If it did happen, like it wouldn't happen, because like I just can't imagine left wing people being that stupid. Like you're gonna try to fight a civil war against right wing people who have all the guns. Like that's just like like didn't know that you were that stupid. But yeah, I just don't think it would happen. It doesn't seem likely. It could. I mean, it happened. The talks around it started happening a lot after like the Colorado thing, which, yeah, I mean, it's straight up illegal. It was just why they pulled it off. I actually had a theory about that before, but I changed it because I had seen the news had changed on that. They had pulled back. So next prediction, there will be a lot of EV/Tesla controversies. We're kind of already seeing that with the Ford Mustang, failing an update and just leaving somebody stranded, having to get their car towed. Like, and Tesla fires, you just can't extinguish them. So they just leave them there. Unless they like, and like these batteries, these lithium ion batteries, they're in all of the EVs. So you can't put out lithium ion batteries. You can't do it. You just wait for them to go out. You wait for the chemicals to, all burn out. You just can't put them out. Like, and that is incredibly dangerous. That's incredibly dangerous. You just can't have that. And the more that these things start to the more prevalent they become, the more this issue is going to become. Like, because these like fire, what are their names? Fucking fire people. They are our highway systems rely on these people putting out these fires, getting them to safety, and then controlling traffic. With these EVs, you can't put them out, so you are just causing. And the fire people, my brother became one, saying he's like, yeah, we don't do anything. You just leave them there, let them burn. It's like you can't control this. You can't control the traffic around it if there is an accident that occurs. And I also think with these fucking updates that they're not accounting for, that are just leaving people stranded, these things are going to happen more and more. And you've already seen a lot of controversies with Tesla, like the one in China. I remember that video going around on Twitter, where the EV loses, or the Tesla like just flies off. That might have been staged by China. That happens a lot. I've heard that they like stage things to like kind of like talk about things how they want them and control the narratives around them, which you've never seen something like that before, I don't think, in America, unless Tesla's like that good at controlling media, which I don't think they are. That looked staged to me, and the more I've thought about that, the more that looked staged. The one in China, but I think this year you're going to see a lot more EV controversies, like a significant amount, because of, and I mean, Ford, their stock price has gone up after they said they're going to significantly cut the amount of EVs they're going to do. So nobody likes them, and we don't know the long-term effects of like Biden significantly changing, basically forcing the amount of EVs, at an incredible rate. We just don't know the long-term effects of it. So I think you're going to see a lot more controversies. 7, market will slowly recover. I mean, that's some. I mean, you're already seeing like inflation, like gas prices go down, which is kind of a indicator for stuff like that. Um, I mean, this could be wrong. I'm not like a market analyst, and I genuinely don't know that much about it. But I think we're seeing things, getting better as more people make more money. We're gonna reduce like inflation, not reduce inflation, but like reduce the harsh effects of inflation. Again, I'm not a market analyst, as you could probably tell. But anyways, 8. This one's kind of a gimme. Deadpool 3 would be the highest grossing Disney movie of the year. I don't know if it's confirmed, but I'm pretty sure Deadpool 3 is the only movie Disney is making this year. They could change that. They could release other ones that they just didn't say they were going to release, but I'm pretty sure Deadpool 3 is the only Disney movie Disney is making this year. 9. Every major sanctuary city but LA will revoke their sanctuary status. This one, we're kind of just seeing like what's going on with this, where these cities are like Texas is sending them on buses to Chicago, then Chicago bans the buses, so they start flying them in, like, and similar. They're having similar restrictions in New York, where like they're telling them you can only bring them in, from 8 to 12 Monday through Friday. Like we're seeing these sanctuary cities start to revoke their soft revoke their sanctuary status, but eventually as these immigrants get more desperate and Texas starts to do more stuff to skirt these immigration restrictions, they're just going to be like, okay, we give up, fuck it. Besides LA will be a holdout, and there will be a holdout because LA has so much more class segregation. It's just a bigger place, and the poor people are in one place, kind of like downtown LA, and the rich people are in a much different place, and they shop at different places. So the effects of heavy immigration is not felt as much in LA as it is in New York and Chicago, and these smaller places, more condensed spaces. So yeah, I think the only holdout of sanctuary cities will be LA, because they can ignore them more. Isn't that great? 10. States that remove Trump from ballot will have corruption exposed. This is one of the predictions that I have changed, because it was originally Colorado, but then Colorado changed that. But now it's Maine. Maine is the one. But I think there is going to be more states that remove Trump from the ballot, and I think they will be. I think there will be corruption exposed, and you've kind of already seen this with Maine. I just saw it. I didn't watch the video, but apparently the governor of Maine or something like had a meltdown like live, like so. You're already seeing these states getting extreme pushback, and Colorado already pulled theirs, and Michigan already revoked, like pulling Trump from the ballot. So like I think all the states that remove Trump are you're just going to see the corruption get pretty heavily exposed. It's a pretty safe bet. 11. This one's funny. This is Ludwig's prediction from last year, which he was absolutely destroyed on. AI will have a sleeper year. Ludwig said this like last year, last year. He said the AI would have a sleeper year, and if you watch that video of his prediction, and I wasn't banned before that, because I don't know when I was banned from Ludwig's chat, but I did say right after he made that prediction, I said something like, "You're smoking reefer. AI video is coming." I'd said that. I don't know if I was banned before then, but I did say that. I predicted AI video, and it was not like a wild prediction. I knew what Corridor was kind of doing. I was watching Corridor, and I kind of knew like where they were like going. I didn't know it would blow up like that, but like I kind of saw what Corridor was doing. But this year, I'm predicting AI will have a mostly sleeper year because I know what Corridor is doing. They're kind of shying away from AI. And I mean also like where do you go from AI video? I think AI will see improvements, but it won't be the mainstream kind of attention that last year did because one, AI was new back then and it had all this, innovation and growth. Um and now it's just not new and people are kind of used to it. People have kind of, seen the potential of it and people use it, pretty regularly. And it's also gotten a stigma since then. AI has, Corridor, they're kind of pulling back from their AI because they get so much shit for using AI, which I don't know why. I don't think it's that controversial. Um, but they live in liberal haven, so not surprised. But yeah, so I think AI will have a mostly sleeper year because I know what Corridor is doing, and I know that um, they're not, they're not going to like do too much with AI because it's so controversial, and they are generally controversy adverse. Um, and also like where do you go from video? Where do you go from AI video? I don't know. I just the speed of it will be increased, but that doesn't get mainstream attention. Like, you don't hear about, oh, this thing minorly improved. It's like, I think we'll have a mostly sleeper year, making Ludwig right, but a year late. Anyways, that's all the predictions I have for you. We will check 2025 and see if I was right and if I was better than Ludwig. I think I will be. Not to be like overconfident. Actually, some of his predictions are pretty good. But yeah, we'll see. Anyways, you have a good day. See you later.